Man here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. I'm going to attempt to make a bold prediction in the Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev fight. This fight, ladies and gentlemen, is the fucking fight. This is the fight for all of the marbles, man. Some say this decides the number one pound for pound fighter in boxing. Some say. Some say this is the mountaintop of boxing. I would just say, I want to say good luck to both fighters because I have a high amount of respect for what both fighters are doing, and they are both taking on a monumental task that will out undoubtedly and absolutely define their legacy, man. So let's try to get into this prediction. All right. First off issue. Let's deal with the 800-pound gorilla in the room. The declining of Andre Ward. A lot of the Sergey Kovalev fans will say that Andre Ward is declining. He is not the same Andre Ward from the Super 6 tournament. I have heard this now over and over and over again. Well, I don't know what a lot of people base that off. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a deeper look into this because I honestly don't think Andre Ward is declining. And actually, he may, in a way, be even getting better and allow me to give my reasons for such. Andre Ward, Super 6 tournament, the gold standard fight that we will use and put every example up against because I'm pretty sure everybody will agree that Andre Ward's biggest win is called Froch. Andre Ward was in his prime during the time he fought called Froch. Andre Ward was a bad man when he won the Super 6 tournament by defeating Carl Froch. So let's go to that fight and use the numbers from that fight. In that particular fight, Andre Ward threw 573 punches, in which he landed 243 punches, which gave him a 42% landing percentage. Now, for those who don't know, any fighter that lands over 40% is an A-plus performance most of the time. 40% is like A+. When you get to 50%, you're just like a boxing guru at that point. You know what I'm saying? So Andre Ward landed 42% of his punches on Carl Froch. That's not bad. Not to mention he threw 573 total punches. So a person who is declining should be probably throwing significantly a low amount of punches and probably landing a significantly lower percentage, as in your Manny Pacquiao's, whose punch output as well as punch landing percentage has came down dramatically. Now, in Andre Ward's case, let's look at some of the fights up until today's fights. Let's see if these numbers have declined. Against Chad Dawson, Andre Ward threw 418 punches, landing 155, not too far off from the total punches of 573 thrown against Froch. Against Chad Dawson, he landed 37% of his punches, as opposed to Carl Froch, where he landed 42%. Not big of a decline there, right? Not much big of a decline. Okay, let's keep progressing. Against Edwin Rodriguez, Andre Ward threw 526 punches. That's not a big decline as from Carl Froch, 573 punches. He landed 217 punches, giving him a 41% connection percentage. Not bad. As opposed to Carl Froch, 243 with a 42% connection percentage. Not much of a decline there, right? Right. What are we talking about here? Paul Smith. Andre Ward threw 586 punches. That's more punches than he threw against Carl Froch. And he landed 231 of them, in which in the Carl Froch fight, he landed 243. So he had a connection percentage of 39% against Paul Smith. Not much of a decline there. Sullivan Barrera, he threw 463 punches, landed 166, a 36% connection percentage. And that also hovers around the same numbers almost as the Carl Froch fight. Total thrown punches. Now, he pretty much came down significantly in the Barrera fight, but there's a trade-off to that, and we will get to that later. But he came down by about 100 and something punches against Sullivan Barrera than he did against Carl Froch. Small decline. And then Alexander Brand, in which Andre Ward threw 490 punches, in which he landed 190 of them at 39%. Now, that was probably the worst of all of the performances, believe it or not, even though I know he threw 418 against Chad Dawson, but 490 punches and he only landed 190 punches. That's not that great. And that was the last fight that Andre Ward was in. But that's still a trade-off to that, because in fights like Alexander Brand, in which he only threw 490 punches, or Chad Dawson, in which he only threw 418 punches, the flip side to that argument is they wasn't hitting him. You get where I'm going? Not to mention their punch output was extremely low. Let's look at that. Carl Froch threw 683 punches against Andre Ward, in which he only landed 156 of those punches. That's a 23% connection percentage, as opposed to Andre Ward, who had 42%. And Chad Dawson, though he threw 418 punches against Chad Dawson only threw 187 punches and only landed, believe it or not, 29 punches. That's a 16% connection ratio. So though Andre Ward's punch output came down dramatically against Chad Dawson didn't land basically nothing in that fucking fight. Edwin Rodriguez only landed at 22% on Andre Ward. He threw 389 punches and only landed 85 of those punches. 85 of those punches. And 19 of those were jabs. What? 22%, as opposed to Carl Froch landing 23% of his punches. Not a major decline defensively there. You look at Paul Smith. Paul Smith landed 18% of his punches. Out of 266, he only landed 47. Sullivan Barrera. Now, this was the one that really speaks leaps and bounds. Sullivan Barrera threw 722 punches and only landed 111 punches. That's a 15% connection percentage. 15%, man. And this is one fight removed from Andre Ward's last fight, which was Alexander Brand. Alexander Brand only landed 16% of his punches. That's lower than Carl Froch. 45 of 285. 16% of the punches. So defensively, I don't see a decline numbers-wise for Andre Ward. Offensively, I don't really see a decline majorly from Andre Ward on the offense. His punch output is still roughly about the same as the Super 6 tournament. His defense, as far as other fighters landing on him, is still roughly about the same as the Super 6 tournament. Not to mention he's no more than 3 fights away from a knockout because he knocked out Paul Smith. So when people say Andre Ward has declined, the numbers tell a different story. Now, granted, a lot of the fighters that I just mentioned was not the gold standard of opposition. I understand Carl Froch is from a whole nother pedigree. I get that. But there's a reason that Carl Froch did not want to rematch Andre Ward, because I think he pretty much knew the outcome would maybe be the same. And that speaks volumes about Andre Ward. Andre Ward's declining, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't see it. And the reason I say he may have gotten a little bit better is because when he beat Sullivan Barrera, and Sullivan Barrera only landed 15% of his punches, this pushed Andre Ward up on the CompuBox all-time list. As far as the plus minus of total punches, Andre Ward was moved up to 4th after the Sullivan Barrera fight. As far as opposition power punches landed on Andre Ward ranked 6th all time according to CompuBox of other punchers landing on him. He has not declined in that right there. He hasn't declined in those CompuBox numbers or the placing of CompuBox. He's 10th all time amongst with CompuBox on opponents' connection percentages against him. So these numbers are awesome. You know, in the first one, the plus minus total punches, the only people that are in front of him is Floyd Mayweather, of course, Leo Santa Cruz, Gennady Golovkin, and that's it. Andre Ward is fourth. That's no declining. Where's the declining? The numbers are telling me a different story. When Andre Ward defeated Paul Smith and he threw 586 punches and he landed 231 and Paul Smith only landed 47 punches total, he knocked out Paul Smith, by the way. Ward had been out of the ring at that point for 19 months. Though Paul Smith is not stellar competition, I get it. But Ward was out for 19 months, and at that point only fought like twice in 3 years. And I understand Paul Smith was weight drained. Paul Smith did lose a lot of money, which probably lost a lot of motivation. He also lost money when he came in overweight for the same day weigh-in. And which he came in at 85 pounds or something, or 184 pounds when the limit was 181, and it was like $5,000 per pound that Paul Smith came over. Man, he lost a lot of money in that fight to Ward. But Ward made $2 million in that fight plus because he took some of Paul Smith's money. But the fact still remains, for a man to stay out of the ring that long, come back and knock out his opponent, not to mention dominate him stat-wise, speaks volumes, once again, about the pedigree of Andre Ward. So I don't see where you guys say he's declining at. The only other thing that you can give him is say that the eye test. His reflexes doesn't look as sharp no more, and this, that, and the third. His punches doesn't look as stiff no more. And most people who say that are going off the Alexander Brand fight, because Ward was not able to finish Alexander Brand. Alexander Brand is 39 years old. Alexander Brand is not a high pedigree fighter. And most people were expecting Ward to look much more crisp and dominate Alexander Brand. And that didn't happen. Though he beat him on the scorecards, it wasn't a convincing enough win. People thought he should have got him the fuck out of there. But Alexander Brand was in survival mode, ladies and gentlemen, most of that fight. And on top of that, he is a veteran. So I'm sure if he knows how to do anything, he knows how to survive. So I'm not going to judge Andre Ward and say he's declining off of that one performance, because I'm not going to judge Sergey Kovalev on the same thing against his performance against Isaac Chilemba, in which a lot of people said that Sergey Kovalev looked like his stamina was low towards the end of that fight, looked like he couldn't cut the ring off properly in that fight, and I'm not going to say that about Sergey Kovalev off of that fight. I'm not going to do that. So the decline of Andre Ward, I just don't know. I'm not going to agree with that, and I'm going to say the skills of Andre Ward are still intact. The biggest muscle on Andre Ward is his fucking brain, his boxing IQ in the ring. Andre Ward can effectively take your best weapons away from you, in which then you have to be forced to think, what the fuck am I going to do next? What happens if Andre Ward takes away the big right hand from Sergey Kovalev? What happens when Andre Ward nullifies Sergey Kovalev's power with footwork and head movement? What happens then? Because like I told some folks last night that we were having the Google Hangout thing with, everything that Sergey Kovalev can do, Andre Ward can do. The only exception and the only thing that Sergey Kovalev may have over Andre Ward is the power. But if Andre Ward has the ability to take that power away from you, which he does, then do you have a plan B? John David Jackson, who's the coach of Sergey Kovalev, I'm sure that they've been working on plan Bs. Now, the things that hurt Andre Ward is the fact that his opposition as of lately does not prepare him for Sergey Kovalev, and that is dangerous. He has not been in the ring stylistically with someone like Sergey Kovalev or on the power level of a Sergey Kovalev, in my opinion. A lot of people thought Sullivan Barrera may have had the goods because Abel Sanchez was coaching him. But Sullivan Barrera just was too green. Not to say he's a bad fighter. He just was too green at the time. I'm just, I don't know. Yeah, Andre Ward's, I've said in the past that he took these low-level guys. I understand the reason. One, he wanted to get his money because he'd been out of the ring so goddamn long. And two, we understand when he signed this deal with HBO, they started to experience budget cuts. You take like Andre Ward when he faced who was that he faced, and they got paid some, like Alexander Brand. Yeah, when he fought Alexander Brand got paid like some short shit, man, like 30,000. You know what I'm saying, to take that damn fight. So HBO's budget cuts, along with the fact that Andre Ward had to make some money through his legal battles that he had outside of the ring with his former promoter and all that other jazz, the kid needed some money. And Rock Nation did exactly that. So he did whatever he could do within the scope of his power. And that's how I see things. Now, but I still don't understand why he didn't choose an opponent stylistically that was similar to Sergey Kovalev. Now, on the Sergey Kovalev side of things, Sergey Kovalev is a bad man. I have nothing but respect for Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev approaches every fight with extreme heart, with an awesome game plan, and like it's been said lately, he has fully adapted to the American style of doing things. He had brought what he already had in him, adjusted to the American way, and now he possesses the tools to beat agile fighters, fighters with foot movement, fighters who can move. Sergey Kovalev possesses the tools to beat these kind of fighters. As in Bernard Hopkins' case, Bernard Hopkins showed good movement against Sergey Kovalev. But the fact is, Bernard Hopkins had no punch resistance against Sergey Kovalev. And some say that's going to be the downfall of Andre Ward, the punch resistance. Sergey Kovalev, believe it or not, has been doing the right thing opposition-wise for preparing for Andre Ward. You look at his last couple of opponents, when he fought, man, I always get this guy's name messed up, Jean Pascal, he fought him, and then he fought Isaac Chilemba. Now, Isaac Chilemba, to me, was the fight that really gives Sergey Kovalev a lot of experience to get ready to face Andre Ward. I'm fully aware Isaac Chilemba is no Andre Ward. But Isaac Chilemba fought in a style very similar to Andre Ward. Movement, lots of movement, working behind the jab, picking your shots, looking to counter. Isaac Chilemba's only problem was his head movement is not nearly as good as Andre Ward's. So he started to get tagged later on in that fight as he started to tire. But the thing that I take away from that fight is that Sergey Kovalev found a way to win. When he could not cut the ring off properly against Isaac Chilemba, and Isaac Chilemba's style with movement and counterpunching properly, and that's another thing, his counterpunching didn't have the stiff. He was counterpunching at proper times, but it wasn't stiff and it had no power to it. But when he was doing that game plan, it was almost frustrating Sergey Kovalev. And Sergey Kovalev's stamina did start to decline towards the end of that fight. But Sergey Kovalev found a way to win. Some don't believe that sorry folks, I got a little distracted. This lady just walked up to my goddamn car thinking that I ordered some food. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Sergey Kovalev has done his just due by properly preparing himself for Andre Ward by fighting Isaac Chilemba. It's just that Isaac Chilemba did not have the head movement, man. He did not have the head movement, but Sergey Kovalev found a way to win. And a lot of people believe that if Isaac Chilemba did have stamina towards the end of that fight, he could have maybe pulled it off. The fact of the matter is, Sergey Kovalev has been preparing himself for Andre Ward. Kathy Duva, the promoter of Sergey Kovalev, has been ensuring that she has been getting opposition that prepares Sergey Kovalev for Andre Ward, something that Andre Ward has not done. Sergey Kovalev, like I said before, does usually well against the style that Andre Ward employs, but in that Isaac Chilemba fight, I don't know. He just didn't do as well, and he did start to tire and get frustrated. That to me shows a lot. Though like I said before, I'm not going to judge him and who he is off of one fight. But if Isaac Chilemba can do that, don't tell me Andre Ward can't do it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Andre Ward has never been dominated. He wasn't even in a close fight. Nothing. But however, with Sergey Kovalev and Isaac Chilemba, it was close. It was a close fight. And he frustrated Sergey Kovalev. But Sergey could have had an off night. Sergey Kovalev has a power advantage over Andre Ward, and Andre Ward is fully aware of that. And with the power of Sergey Kovalev, any punch can put Andre Ward down. That man don't have 3 belts for nothing. And Adonis Stevenson, I see with all the politics involved, he didn't duck Sergey Kovalev this long and didn't put his foot on the gas to get that fight for nothing. He didn't do that for nothing. So, I mean, I understand the network situation and everything like that, but still, man, get the fuck out of here, man. Sergey Kovalev has been preparing himself properly, and he does have the power to put down Andre Ward, and he has seen the style of Andre Ward before and has performed well against that style, with the exception of Isaac Chilemba. But I'm going to bet on the skills here, ladies and gentlemen. Knowing all that we know about these two fighters, and I still will have respect for whoever loses this fight, I'm going to rock with Andre Ward by unanimous decision. I'm going to rock with Andre Ward by unanimous decision, 7 rounds to 5. Close fight, but I'm going to bet on the skills of Andre Ward, a man who's never been stopped, a man who he does have the brain. He has the better boxing IQ, in my opinion. Andre Ward possessed every tool that Sergey Kovalev had, with the exception of a better IQ and less power. That's the trade-off. But I'm going to bet on skills. And since I'm a guy who don't see a major decline in Andre Ward, like a lot of people do, I'm going to bet on the skills of Andre Ward. The numbers don't lie to me, ladies and gentlemen. So that's my prediction. I will see you guys after the fight. Post-fight video, post-fight reaction. Can't wait to do it. Can't wait for this fight to get on. I'm going to make sure my Saturday night is clear, because I ain't missing this for shit. You know what I mean? Like, for nothing. Real talk. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Main man made man here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. You know, I'm going to attempt to make a bold prediction in the Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev fight. This fight, ladies and gentlemen, is the fucking fight. This is the fight for all of the marbles, man. Some say this decides the number 1 pound for pound fighter in boxing. Some say this is the mountaintop of boxing. I would just say, I want to say good luck to both fighters, because I have a high amount of respect for what both fighters are doing, and they are both taking on a monumental task that will undoubtedly and absolutely define their legacy, man.